Welcome, everybody, to another episode of FYC Film Review. I'm your host, Gagne. With me, my partner, Vinaldo.
What's up, man? How's it going, everybody?
Welcome back, buddy. It's good to see your face. It's good to be
Yeah,
covering
you too.
movies. We're kicking off the spooky season.
Yeah, month of October, Halloween movies. I think we picked a good one, at least to start off with. Tim Burton's Beetlejuice, a classic. Now, when's the last time you saw this?
15 years ago,
Wow, really?
10 years ago, maybe.
Good grief. I see
Yeah.
this movie like once a year, man.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I
I
do.
might start now, but it had been a while. It had been a long while.
Wow, that
I've
long, huh?
watched it so much as a kid. I mean, it was like heavy rotation
Yeah.
to the extent that once you've just done that so many times, you don't need to maybe revisit it. But I missed it. I remembered everything, but also loved seeing everything again. So yeah, it
Okay.
had been a while. Every
All
year,
right.
is it a Halloween movie?
I don't know if it's a Halloween movie. When I think about it, I just watch it. We just
Yeah,
watch it. It's good. We love it.
perfect.
All right. Before we get into it, guys, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and stick with us to the end of the video to check out our final rating and if you agree with us. Okay, let's get into it. The year is 1988, rated PG. PG or PG-13? Or PG, right?
Yes,
PG.
somehow.
It's all right. With the runtime of about an hour and 30 minutes. So not too bad. Not too
Perfection.
bad. Not too bad. And this is for me, this is Tim Burton's ultimate. Like, this is Tim Burton and at the peak. He can do no wrong at this time. And for me, Tim Burton, this is his best movie for me. This and probably Edward Scissorhands.
Okay.
Yeah.
You lost me at Edward Scissorhands. I actually
Wow.
don't like that one.
What's wrong with you,
I
man?
know. I'm a minority here in that regard.
Okay.
I can't disagree with you. This still just this is what put Tim Burton in everyone's homes and made him, I think, a director that would go on to do Batman a year later. And
Yeah.
this just reeks of Tim Burton, and I love it in the best ways. The stop motion, the awkward characters, the set design, everything about it is fun. I love watching it now as an adult because I watched it so much as a kid that I picked up on nuances that I didn't remember from when I was a kid, like Catherine O'Hara, who is just wonderful as the mom.
Yeah.
You don't appreciate that until you're really an adult and then
Right.
understand what she's doing and how she's portraying, this artistic person stuck in the countryside.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved watching it again from kind of a different lens.
Yeah. And we got Danny Elfman. So this is Tim Burton and Danny Elfman. This is like the ultimate duo. Like, these two guys could do no wrong. And again, you said it reeks of Tim Burton, it reeks of Danny Elfman. This is just, you can't go wrong with these two. These guys were like the WWF tag team champions of the 80s, man. They were so good together. It's just classic to me. And you said Catherine O'Hara, right? Who was in this. Also, you got to give it up to Jeffrey Jones, who's in this, who's pretty funny. You kind of forget about the dad because you got other good characters, but Jeffrey Jones, who plays the dad, he's funny. He's really funny.
They're really good together. Jeffrey Jones, people don't remember, was the principal in Ferris Bueller. He was I guess the bad guy in Howard the Duck. I'm trying to think what else I remember. Very fond memories of childhood movies with him in it, and just a great character actor who does wonderful with Catherine O'Hara. This cast is incredible. I mean, it's so funny, again, remembering watching this as a kid, like seeing Alec Baldwin and Geena Davis and thinking, oh my God, they're so old, and realizing now, like, they were only 30 when they filmed this movie.
Were they 30?
Like, oh God.
Oh God.
Like, we're old now. Like, young Alec, Baldwin and young Geena Davis, they're so fun together.
Yeah.
The casting director just hit it out of the park, and we haven't even gotten to a man who is going to absolutely be put on the FYC Mount Rushmore in Michael Keaton, because I think this movie could have been longer. You could have given him just, I don't know, 5-10 more minutes of Beetlejuice, and he was so good, good at it.
Okay, all right, let's talk about Michael Keaton.
Yes.
This guy is on the mountain. This is Mount Rushmore of FYC. He is amazing. I mean, we see him play Beetlejuice, but looking at this now, this guy could have played the Joker as well. He's that good. He's just, and here's a fun fact: we only get 17 minutes of Beetlejuice. this movie's an hour and 30 minutes, but we only get 17 minutes of Beetlejuice, and you just want more. Like you said, this could have been longer, could have been longer time. But he's hilarious when he's on screen, and you just want more. You have no idea what he's going to do, how he's going to act, what he's going to say. He's just so out there. It's good. It's really good.
Going back to, you know, how this got a PG rating, one of my favorite lines still from the movie is when he's in the model and he kicks over the tree and says, "Nice effing model," and grabs his crotch, and you hear a honking sound. Yeah. Again, this movie came out in 88. I was like 8 probably when I saw it, and just thought it was the funniest shit at the time.
It's really funny. I mean, it's funny, you know. I mean, for that being the only thing in it, I mean, it could have been worse. I mean, you see all these Police Academy movies, right? So
yeah, it could have been worse, but they also send him to a whorehouse, and they call it a whorehouse. So like, they definitely like stuff that as a kid completely over my head. You know, like you don't really understand what that term means when you're 8 years old. So yeah, they can get away with it. I almost feel like it's like, well, they, you know, no one's going to take this seriously. It's about, you know, a weird ghost, so and sandworms, and you know, just weird dead things happening. No one's gonna, you know, worry that, you know, it needs to have a PG-13 because it's farcical.
Yeah, I mean, I think the story is pretty good. I think there's some plot holes in it, but I think the story for what it is, you know, a couple who dies tragically and goes back and realize that they're dead and they're ghosts, and people move into their house and they want them out of the house, and so they try to scare them, and they can't scare them, so they try to hire this bio exorcist who's named Beetlejuice. Yeah. Let's talk about Adam and Barbara, Alec Baldwin, Geena Davis. Good chemistry. I thought Alec Baldwin was just right on, and Geena Davis, I feel like Geena Davis is always good in everything she does. I mean, except maybe that pirate movie she had. But Cutthroat Island. Yeah, something like that. You guys ever seen Cutthroat Island? Leave in the comments below. But I thought they were good, you know. And Lydia, played by Winona Ryder, she's good. I mean, it's just a good, solid movie that it doesn't take itself seriously. It's something we've never truly seen before, or maybe we have. It's just done in a way that's so intriguing, and you can't stop watching it. You can't, and you want more Beetlejuice. It's like you want more Joker. I want more Beetlejuice. So
yeah, I love the way that Burton leaned into like the campiness of it almost. Yeah. You know, they didn't have a huge budget for effects, and so he went with really trying to make it look cheesy, but it's cheap. He does it in a way that's so creative. Just think about the scene where they're digging him up, they're digging Beetlejuice up, and they're digging in a model, and so your perspective is they're in this model, and so as they're digging, you see these layers that would literally be the layers of what Alec Baldwin's character would have done to make a model. It's cardboard, it's paper mache, it's just shit like that that's so clever that you're like, again, as a kid, you don't appreciate that, but like you go back and watch this now, and you're like, fuck, how did he do this in 88 and make it so fun and such a success that his career blew up. Like Pee-wee was his first movie, you know, a few years earlier, and it was good and weird and all the great ways, but like this is even further out there. You know, it's like you said, a simple story about people trying to get rid of the humans in their, you know, ghost house, and it's fun. It's so fun. Every character is worth watching.
It is. Yeah. One thing I had a problem with was Barbara, Geena Davis' character. Okay. When she realized that she could say his name 3 times, she just realized it, and then she realized that she can go back home by saying home, home, home. You know, it's just kind of like, well, how'd you know that? You know, or was there something else written in the movie? It was like, okay, well, you couldn't. They were trying to guess his name, and another thing, he can't even say his own name, so that's whatever. I kind of let that one go, but it kind of weirded me out how she knew right away to say his name 3 times.
Yeah, and to say the home part. I agree. Plot convenience, obviously, and then I think actually Alec Baldwin asks, you know, how did you know? And she just like, I don't know. You're like. Maybe there would have been more manual, you know, for the dead storyline that they just were like, yeah, we don't really need this. And I appreciate that. It doesn't lag at any point in the movie. Yeah. I just enjoy every scene for, you know, different reasons, and Elfman's score keeps it flowing through. Fun fact, it won an Oscar for best makeup.
Really?
Which, I mean,
that's great.
It's an Oscar winner. So, and as it should.
Okay.
Fun fact to kind of jump off of that as well, Keaton's the one who came up with the look for Beetlejuice. He wanted the hair to look like he had like stuck his hand in an electrical socket. Like he really like owned it. And I think that kind of goes back to what you said. Like he could have been the Joker. Like he really wanted this character and made this character what it is.
I mean, it's so memorable. Again, he's only got 17 minutes of screen time in this movie, and he makes it his. So let's talk about the dinner scene. The Deo banana boat
Calypso dance number.
See, this is what's great about Burton. Only Burton can take somebody like Harry Belafonte, take his music and put it in this and make us want it more and make it so memorable that you hear those songs and you think of Beetlejuice. And that scene, the dinner scene, it's so stupid and so funny. And the way Jeffrey Jones is dancing is hilarious. So it's those things that make this movie so delightful to watch and so memorable.
I read that Burton wanted to can that. He thought it was stupid and it wasn't going to work. And yet that's one of the most memorable scenes that most people will call out of this movie. And it just works. Getting the right casting is just, again, is everything. Like Catherine O'Hara, starting it off and, lip syncing this song is wild. And it comes out of left field. You don't expect it, even with the subtle hints of like Alec Baldwin's like listening to him in the beginning of the movie, right? I think he's actually listening to Harry Belafonte while he's working on the model.
He is, which I didn't even catch it till now. So it's funny.
But it's clever. It's really, really clever.
Yeah. Okay, another thing that again, just for plot convenience is the ending, the finale, where Geena Davis, Barbara, is riding a sandworm, and the sandworm eats Beetlejuice or destroys Beetlejuice. It doesn't destroy Beetlejuice because he's got a scene at the end. But it's just like, okay, you somehow jumped on this sandworm, you wrote it in to the house, and that was it. Okay.
Yeah, pretty convenient. Like there's no follow-up to it. It's just like it happens and then we're cut away. But we'll let you know that Beetlejuice is okay.
Yeah.
Later.
And I think that's a good thing that they did at the end scene where they shrink his head, because it just makes this movie fun. Where he's in that waiting room and his number is like 9 million or something like that, and the other guy has number 4 and he takes it, goes, whoa, there's Elvis. So it's good. It's good. I'm glad they ended it like that, and I hope we get Beetlejuice 2 before our time.
This made me not want it. Actually, I was of that camp as well. I was like, yes, no, man, we need another one. And then I realized, like, I don't need any more. This is great. You watch this every year. I love it for what it was. Like, they did the cartoon. The cartoon was okay. Like I watched it. It was, it was pretty good to keep your, sandworm addiction going. But it just, I don't want another. I love this for what it is. My only gripe, like I said, it was you give the man more than 17 minutes. That's all. I could. His name is in the title. Give him something else. But beyond that, God damn, it holds up, and it's so much fun. It's timeless. It doesn't seem dated because you're talking about ghosts in a house. It's just I love it. I love it.
Agree. I was rooting for it.
Yeah.
All right, let's rate it. Want to rate it? Let's rate it.
Let's rate it.
All right. So our rating, 1 to 5. What are we rating it? We're rating it
Shrunken Heads.
Shrunken Heads. Sounds good. Okay, 1 Shrunken Head, really bad. 5 Shrunken Heads, the best movie ever. You can go first.
I don't know if we'll go 5 being best movie ever. I'm afraid now we'll never ever give a 5. One of the best movies ever. I'm gonna go with a solid 4. I almost want to go 4.5, but I'll go 4. I'm gonna go 4 Shrunken Heads. I was excited to watch it, and I was even more excited once I finished watching it. It was fun. So much
good.
fun.
Okay, that's solid. All right, I am right there with you. I looked at my wife yesterday after we watched, and I said, "This is a 4. This is a 4. This is such a classic movie." Again, to me, this is Tim Burton at his best. This and Edward Scissorhands, Danny Elfman, Tim Burton can do no wrong. There's got a few plot holes in it. I can look past through it. I want more Beetlejuice. Give me more Beetlejuice. I am a fan of Beetlejuice. I will take Beetlejuice 2 anytime. like my friend. But yes, it is the 4. It's a definite must watch, and you got to watch it. It's so good. It's so classic. So 4 for me, 4 Shrunken Heads.
I love it. And I hope that there's not a lot of people out here who haven't seen this movie, but if you haven't, stop what you're doing. It's now a Halloween classic for you, and you need to watch it.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Love it. Welcome Michael Keaton to the never-ending FYC Mount Rushmore.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks everybody for tuning in. I've been your host Gagne, with me my partner Naldo.
Have a good one, everybody. Go watch this movie. Go just turn us off and go watch this movie. It's so good.
We'll catch you next time on the next episode of FYC Film Review.
Have a good one, everyone.